name is Isha Patel, Executive Coding Officer of KITE, and welcome to KITE's free Java course. At KITE, we're on a mission to teach people across the globe the latest coding technologies. Today, we're going to learn about loops. Boolean expressions. Before we get into loops, it's important to know these Boolean expressions because they're used a lot in loops. And means and, the double and. These two straight lines mean or. These two equal signs relate to equality, but one equal sign assigns a value. This is less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and this is not equal to. While loops. While loops run a block of code over and over again while the condition is true. Once the condition is false, the loop stops running. While loops are used whenever you don't know how many times you will iterate. There are 3 steps to creating a while loop. First, you must initialize the loop variable before the while loop. Then you have to test the loop variable in the loop header. And finally, change the loop variable in the while loop body at the end. So to create a while loop, you have to follow this format. While, condition, and body of loop. So while your condition is true, whatever condition you have, whatever's in the body of the loop, it will run. So for example, let's create an int variable, int x equals 1. And while x is less than 5, print out the variable. You can have whatever condition you want, but this is just like an example. And now that we have our statement, we need to increase the value of x. So by doing x plus plus, this increases the value of x by 1. So when we print this out, it gives us 1, 2, 3, 4. And how this works is that it says int x equals 1. We already established that. And it checks if 1 is less than 5, which it is. And then it prints out x. So it prints out 1. Then it increases the value of 1 by 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. And then is 2 less than 5? It is. So then it prints out 2. And then it changes it to 3. Prints out 3, because 3 is less than 5. And then 4. And then it prints out 4. And then it increases to 5. But 5 is not less than 5. So the entire loop terminates. And this is what it prints out. So let's create a little harder problem and ask the user for input and find the sum of all the positive integers until that number. To do that, we need to import our java.util.scanner and have our scanner statement. We can comment this out and begin our code. So first, ask the user for a number. And then int x equals reader dot next int. Instead of doing this all at once, let's just test it in steps. So let's test to see this works. Input a number 5, and that works. Now we're going to create an int variable, int sum equals 0, because we want to print out the sum, and right now it's 0. And we're going to create a while loop. So while x is greater than or equal to 0, we're going to have sum equals sum plus x. And then we're going to change the value of x. We're going to actually decrease it this time. So x minus minus decreases the value of x by 1. Now let's break down this code. Right now, let's just pretend x is 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to check, is 5 greater than or equal to 0? It is. So then now we're going to have sum is equal to sum plus x. And over here, sum is equal to 0. So this value is going to be 0. And this value is going to be 5. So we're going to have sum is equal to 5. This looks different than how traditional math should look, but this is how it works in computer science. Sum is equal to this value. But over here, this sum is equal to this value. So we're going to have 0 plus 5, and that's equal to 5. So now sum is equal to 5. This value is now 5. So now what we're going to do is we're going to decrease the value of x. So now x is no longer 5, it's 4. And then it's going to go back here. Is 4 greater than or equal to 0? It is. And now this is going to change. So sum is something we still don't know. But from the previous iteration, we now know the sum is 5. Plus x is now 4 because we decreased the value of it. So sum is now 9. And now we're going to decrease it again to 3. So then we're going to go back and x is now 3, and sum is now 5, is now 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. So it just keeps on going like that. That's how you get your sum. And finally, when the loop terminates, we're going to have a value for sum. So at the end, we just want them to print that out. System.out.println sum. Let's just do 5, and it gives us 15. We were at 12, right? So we're going to have, because we had 9 plus 3 is 12. So then now this is 12, and before it was 3. So now we're going to put 2 here. 12 plus 2 is 14. So now sum is 14. And then it's going to decrease the 2 again. So the last one is going to be 1. And 14 plus 1 is 15. So that's your sum. And then it's going to decrease it again to 0. And the last sum was 15. So 15 plus 0 is 15 again. And then it's going to decrease it again to -1. But -1 is not greater than or equal to 0. So the loop terminates when the sum is equal to 15. We can do this again. We can have another number. Let's do 3 this time. 6. We can break it down again. So right now, x is equal to 3. Sum is equal to 0. This isn't a problem. So sum equals 0. X equals 3. And now the new sum is equal to 3. It's going to decrease the value of x. So now x is going to be 2. Sum is going to be 3. And the new sum is going to be 5. It's going to decrease the value of x again. So 2 becomes 1. Sum becomes 5. And 5 plus 1 is 6. Decreases the value of 1 again. That's 0. Sum is now 6. And 6 is still sum. And it decreases the value of 0 again. And that's -1. But -1 is not greater than or equal to 0. So the sum of 6 remains the same. So this is how you use while loops in Java. Thanks for watching today's video. Make sure to join our Discord link below if you have any questions or want help or answers to any exercises. There you'll have access to an open forums and can interact with the vast coding community. Also, follow our Instagram as well.